and welcome to Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. I am Mr. Randy, and we're here again today for another episode of The Final Pour. If you're new to the channel, hello and welcome. If you're a returning viewer, you know how we do. I'm always glad and happy, thrilled to see you again. Come on in. Let's get this show started. So what is a Final Pour episode? Well, it is the third and final part of a series in which Mr. Randy does a whiskey wine libation review. So here we are, the third part. First part is off the rip. We get the bottle home, we crack it open, we have our first pour, and I share my first impressions with you because I love you. I absolutely adore you. You're here, you're watching. Absolutely have a stay and have a pour. So second part is halfway through the bottle. We give enough space and time for the whiskey or libation, spirit, whatnot, to open up and see if the characteristics change. For good, for worse, whatever it may be, it is what it is. I gather enough information to bring back to you so that you can decide whether or not it's something for you or not. I always encourage you to try it anyways. If you find it to be unappealing, I apologize for the experience, but it is an experience nonetheless. So part 3, where we're at today, the final pour, we get down to the last pour or two, and we decide whether or not that this whiskey, spirit, libation, whatnot, that's in a synthetic cork, by the way, will hold up. How does it measure? Yeah, just it's done. I think I ran a little bit close on this rye. If you're a returning viewer, you know. If you know, you know. Mr. Randy loves Still Austin. It's a very good distillery. Makes very good whiskeys and ryes, especially the ryes. I think they have the best rye I've ever had. Yeah, I'm sorry there's not a little bit more in there to get a good look on the color, but it's a little darker than your average bourbon because it is a rye. Oh, that is like a dry, sweet caramel soaked eraser. And if you know Mr. Randy, you know when he says pencil eraser, you know you're getting a good bourbon. But this isn't a bourbon, this is a rye. But it's, oh, jeez. Delicioso, magnifico. It is very, very good. Let's see what the viscosity looks like. There's something going on with my glass. I don't know quite what it is. You're getting more legs on this one. Maybe I've actually cleaned it properly because the oils from the whiskeys and whatnot, they leave a film, and normal cleaning won't strip that from the glass and down to the microscopic level. So sometimes you get not so great looking legs from the viscosity, but this is actually looking like it's doing pretty good. Yeah, it looks like there's some decent legs building up on this. So maybe I've actually gotten it down. So you see a little bit of sheeting, but there it is. Oh, the nose here runs very much parallel to the actual the Still Austin bourbon, which is phenomenal. The rye has a little bit of a higher punching sweetness, spiciness than the bourbon. So if you like bourbon, but you like a little bit more sweet, a little bit more spiced than you like the vanilla, the oak, the smoky, whatever, try the rye. If you haven't tried the rye, you're doing yourself a disservice. You should try the rye. This rye is definitely worth the try, especially if you have the 375 bottle. Look at that. Mr. Randy is an ogre of a man, but you do not have to let that fool you. It's very beautiful. It's a dry eraser, but sweet and spiciness. The nosing characteristics on the rye are a heck of a lot better. Loads more better than the bourbon. But that does not take away from the bourbon. My cat is being a nuisance. He's letting me know. I don't know if it's picking up on the mic. I'm pretty sure it's picking up on the mic. He's got a bell, and he's hitting that bell, and he's learned that if he hits that bell, that gets a response out of Mr. Randy. So I'm going to have to go feed him after this video. So let's go ahead and get this on with. This nose is amazing. Let's get on the palate. So the drying effect is 2 to 3 seconds. But once we get past that, we get this very nice, sweet, soft caramel, salty spiciness. Oh, this is the best rye I have ever had. I've had a few different ones. That Jack Daniel's single barrel rye, you can't remember all the other blah, blah, blah about it. But you can look it up in my video library. That was very good, but it was a little more harsher on the drying effect. This is a little bit less of the harshness on the drying effect, but it is very, very good. I'd say it's pushing that. It's pushing that point where it may be better than that Jack Daniel's single barrel rye. That's saying quite a bit, actually, I think. Very wonderful nose. Palate is amazing. Let's go ahead and get a finish on it. Yeah. On the finish, it maximizes that drying effect for like 2 to 3 seconds. Gives way to sweet caramel, vanilla, a little bit of oakiness. It sort of takes steps down as it dissipates very quickly and reveals its characteristics to you. So you get that sweet, that dryness it's 2 to 3 seconds. That's all you get is the dryness. It takes a step down. 2 or 3 seconds after that, you get the sweet caramel, oaky, smoky, vanilla, spice. And then there's that sort of like caramel. And then it sort of like mellows out and levels off. The finish on this is very nice. If you have, I can't express enough. If you have the opportunity to try a Still Austin, I know that I am here in Central Texas, 30 minutes from the distillery. This stuff is pretty much everywhere. I understand if you're in Oregon or New York, Pennsylvania, Michigan, T-Rod, Mad Mick, or Old Guy Bourbon, and a few of you others. I don't know where you're from, so I can't really place you. If you're up north, if you're in the northern borderline states of Canada, and you very rarely see Still Austin, I think if you have the opportunity, it would behoove you, as my wife likes to use that term, it would behoove you to get one of these Still Austins. Doesn't matter which one. Absolutely does not matter which one. If you go for the bourbon, you're going to get one very good bourbon from Texas. 2 years may surprise you. I understand 4 years is, yeah, it's the technical 4-year limit. 2 years might actually convince you that conventional rules are out the window. Try the rye. I actually like the rye the most because it beats all other ryes. There are plenty of other bourbons which beat the Still Austin bourbon, but I, as of yet, have tried a bourbon that beats the Still Austin bourbon. I'm sorry, the rye. I really messed that whole thing up. The rye. No rye I have tried has beat the Still Austin Texas rye. That's the best rye I've had so far. I think I've only had like 5, but still, I mean, I should have had a better rye by now, but it is what it is. Texas Still Austin rye beats all other ryes I've had. If you think there's a better rye I should try, go ahead and put it in the comments. But please understand, if you've had the Still Austin rye and you still think this other suggested rye beats it, put it in the comments. I'll try it. I'll give you full recognition. The bourbon is really good. There are a couple of bourbons I've had that beat the bourbon, but again, the bourbon beats most out the gate. They also have a gin, which I find in the price range of $30 for a 750 milliliter bottle. The Still Austin gin beats a lot of other gins. There's only a couple of gins I've had that beat the Still Austin gin. So now that everything has subsided, I do have a little bit of spiciness, a little bit of tingliness lingering, slight bit of heat on the back ends, on the esophagus. The finish is really good for a rye. If you've never tried a rye, this was probably going to be the one I would suggest to you to try. Especially if you're a bourbon drinker. If you're a bourbon drinker and you're looking to try a rye, I highly suggest this one. Although I would say I would suggest you try it after the Still Austin bourbon. Either way, you're going to love both of them. If you love bourbon, you're going to love both of these because these are relatively close, just a slight bit of difference on either side of the fence. Well, let us know in the comments what you think. And as always, thanks for stopping by here at Mr. Randy's Wine and Spirits. You have a good one.